just turn it on.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't show until they can't come on until I turn it. So. Om Sarvamangla Mangalayam Varayanam Bharadam Shubham Narayanam Namaskrita Sarvakamane Kari. You are all that exists. You are the one beyond. You pervade all beings. You are the Lord behind. You are the personal and impersonal. You are love, the compassionate and kind. You incarnate in various ways. You are the Savior of mankind. My salutations to you. May my speech be purified. May my sense of smell be purified. May my sight be purified. May my hearing be purified. May that which I consume be purified. May my heart be purified. May my thoughts be purified. May my actions be purified. As with open eyes one will see the sky, so the wise see truly the supreme truth. God, the all-pervading existence absolute. May we know the truth, whether pure or impure, however one may be. Remembrance of the Lord makes it pure. May the eternal divine play of Sri Krishna be manifest in the hearts of those who have taken shelter at his feet and of all of his associates. May the name and glory of the Lord be spread among all, and may this worship bring good to all. Om Sato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Vritirma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness unto light. Lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Om Gangasa Yumusava, Sabari Saraswati, Mande, Sindhu Karvani, Jalasamin, Sindhumin Kuru. May the goddesses embodied in all the sacred rivers of the world be gathered here in this water. Om Devara Devabhayo Namaha. I salute the deity at the door. May you bring no negative energy to this place. I salute the indwelling deity of this place. Om Vashtu Vashtu Krusala Namaha. I salute the indwelling deity of this place. Om Brahmane Namaha. I salute Lord Brahma, the Lord of creation. Om Mystery of Fire. May all evil spirits move away from here. May those who do harm be destroyed by the will of Shiva. Om Raska Raska Hum Tasva. O Mother Earth, you hold us on your lap. You are held by the Lord Supreme. Hold and protect us. May this place of worship, the room, the seat, and all articles manifest their innate divinity. Om Sarvam Kulavayam Brahma. All this is very done. May the pranas of chosen ideals become one with our own prana. May your living presence become manifest within our lives. May our senses and our limbs become one with yours. May your living presence become manifest through the limbs and organs. May our powers of speech and mind, of sight, touch, hearing, and smelling abide with us always. May the vital breaths come abide here happily. Come, and come. Yeah. Om Nam Sarvadeva Devi Srupaya Sri Ramakrishnaya. Om Durge Durge Rakshini Swaha. Om Hum Tat Swaha. Om Guru Bhaya Namaha. Om salutations to the Guru. We meditate on the Guru who is immersed in the bliss of Brahma, the embodiment of knowledge, who is beyond duality, who is vast as the sky, and whose goal is to bring knowledge of the Supreme. Om salutations to the Guru's Guru. Om salutations to all great Gurus. Om Ganeshaya Namaha. We meditate on Ganesha, Lord of all beings, remover of obstacles, seated on a red lotus in your heart. His form is radiant, beautiful, and compassionate. Om Aim Sarvadeva Devi Srupaya Sri Ramakrishnaya. Om Aim salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all gods and goddesses and of all manifestations. Om salutations to Shiva. With one hand he makes the sign which dispels fear. With the other he is bestowing blessings. He is seated in the lotus of the heart. To him we offer salutation. Om Hrim salutations to Divine Mother, who is the good of all good, the auspicious one, and the giver of all boons. To her we offer our salutations. Om salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all gods and goddesses. Salutations to all divine manifestations. Om salutations to Brahma. Om salutations to Mother Gayatri, the giver of all knowledge. May the pranas of our chosen ideal become one with our own prana. May your living presence become manifest within our hearts. So, I am that. So, hum sam. I am Vedanta. Hum fat swaha. Hum fat swaha. Hum fat swaha. May I be filled with the prana of Sri Ramakrishna. May I be filled with the living presence of Sri Ramakrishna. May I be filled with the senses of Sri Ramakrishna. May the entire being of Sri Ramakrishna fill my own being. Meditate on Sri Ramakrishna, the Shining One, shining in the lotus of the heart, who is undifferentiated truth, beyond all dualities, one without a second, beyond the changes of nature, eternal bliss itself. We meditate on Sri Ramakrishna, the Shining One, who is beyond comparison, extremely subtle, uncreated and without desire, formless like space, the infinite dwelling within all beings, whose nature is existence, consciousness and bliss, the Lord. We meditate on Sri Ramakrishna, the Shining One, who was born to bring knowledge, devotion, and peace to all beings, whose heart was melted at the sufferings of others, for whom samadhi was the natural state, and whose beautiful form was made consciousness itself. O my beloved Lord, be gracious and manifest yourself in this image, and do accept my worship. I offer this flower to Sri Ramakrishna. Please accept this as a symbol of my love. Om Aim Sarvadeva Devi Surpaya Sri Ramakrishna. I offer this incense to Sri Ramakrishna. Please accept this as a symbol of my prana. Om Sarvadeva Devi Surpaya. I offer this light to Sri Ramakrishna. Please accept this as a symbol of my inner consciousness. Om Aim Sarvadeva Devi Surpaya Sri Ramakrishna. I offer this food to Sri Ramakrishna. May you accept it with love and devotion. Om Brahma Pranam Brahma Havir Brahmanu Brahmanatam Brahme Bhatetanam Tantyam Brahma Karma Samadhi Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Brahman is the ritual, Brahman is the offering, Brahman is the one who offers at the fire, that is Brahman. If one sees Brahman in every action, one will find Brahman. I offer this flower to Sri Sharda Devi. Om Aim Hrim Sabadeva Devi Surpaini, Sri Sharda Devi. I offer this flower to Swami Vivekananda. Om Aim Swami Vivekanandaya. I offer these flowers at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna and his disciples, Saraswati and all other gods and goddesses and incarnations of all traditions. Om Aim Sarvadeva Devi Surpaya, Sri Ramakrishna. Please accept this japam I have done. May it bring illumination to me. Please accept this japam for the welfare of all beings. Through thy grace, O Lord, may this benefit all. Please forgive the mistakes that I may have committed, and give pure love and knowledge to all who worship you. Om Svapakaya Sa, Dharmasaya Sarva Dharma Sarupini, Avatara, Vadishtaya, Ramakrishna. Okay. Welcome everybody, and we'll begin with our chant. Om Sato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness unto light. Lead us from death to mortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Well, maybe we'll start with a chant so we can remove the world from our minds. We can do hymn to Brahma, if that's okay. We can chant to the Guru, whoever your Guru is. Of course, we always honor Thakur as well.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thakur is kind of the Guru of all Gurus, so we can always find an umbrella from him. Brahmanandam Parama Shukaram Kevalam Jnanamurti Vandvahitam Gadana Sadrisham Tatvamasyadila Shyam Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Sarvadi Sashi Bhutam Bhavastitam Trigunayitam Sadguru Tam Namami Sadguru Tam Namami Ramanandam Parama Shukaram Kevalam Jnanamurti Vandvahitam Gadana Sadrisham Tatvamasyadilakhyam Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Sarvadi Sashi Bhutam Bhavastitam Trigunayitam Sadguru Tam Namami Sadguru Tam Namami. Full of bliss, giving joy transcendent of higher knowledge, the abode to will no more. The rest heavens, known to all as thou art, that is pure, permanent, unmoving, the everlasting sphere of all are far beyond qualities and thought. Guru Lord, I bow to thee. Guru Lord, I bow to thee. Well, we are very, very happy to have everybody here. The new 2025 year, all these things going on. You know, today's world, I think for a lot of people is a very uncertain place. And I think there's a lot of trepidation, fear, uncertainty, and just, you know, not feeling unsettled going on for a lot of people right now in the world. And, you know, I thought maybe today we would just talk about grace and the Divine Mother and the universe, which is the idea of grace, Ma as the creation, the universe, and also our part in this crazy mixed up place that we seem to find ourselves into. And I thought we'd use some of the writings of the great ones and to be able to help us to understand, how we can turn in full faith to that grace that we really, really need, especially right now in the world. So I think that's something poignant for our times. We could start reading from Thakur. It's always a good place to start. So one time, Hari, when he became Swami Vedanta, he asked when he was a young person was Sri Ramakrishna. He said, "Sir, why is there so much suffering in the world?" And Sri Ramakrishna said, "This world is the lila of God. It is like a game. In this game, there are joy and sorrow, virtue and vice, knowledge and ignorance, good and evil. The game cannot continue if sin and suffering are altogether eliminated from creation. In the game of hide and seek, one must touch the granny in order to be free. But the granny is never pleased if she is touched at the very outset. It is God's wish that the play should continue for some time. Then, out of 100,000 kites, at best but 1 or 2 break free. And thou dost laugh and clap thy hands, O mother, watching them. In other words, after the practice of hard spiritual discipline, 1 or 2 have the vision of God through his grace and are liberated. Then the Divine Mother claps her hands in joy and exclaims, 'Bravo, there they go.'" So this is, then Hari said, "But this play of God is our death," Hari said. The master said, smiling, "Please tell me who you are." "God alone has become all this. Maya, the universe, living beings, the 24 cosmic principles. As the snake I bite, as the charmer I cure. It is God himself who has become both Vidya and Avidya. He remains deluded by the Maya of Avidya, ignorance. Again, with the help of the Guru, he is cured by the Maya of Vidya, or knowledge." So, that's a wonderful kind of thing, but I don't know how comforting it might be, right? He says, out of 100,000 kites, right, who have hard discipline, hard spiritual discipline. So all of us can say, how many of us can say that we practice hard spiritual discipline in this life? But 1 or 2, through his grace, are liberated. So that certainly is not as calming as we may need right now. By the way, this is the continuation of what he said. He said, "He remains deluded by the Maya of Vidya. He is cured by the Maya of Vidya, knowledge. Ignorance, knowledge, and perfect wisdom. The Jnani sees that God alone exists and is the doer, that he creates, preserves, and destroys. The Vijnani sees that it is God who has become all this." So again, cold comfort for some of us, if we're less for Jnanis or Vijnanis. A couple of things that I might add, and we'll just kind of talk through this as we go, because there are more things that Thakur said and some other great beings have said that will make more help right now. But one thing I'm always realizing too is that this world has always gone through all of these cycles before. This is nothing new. This craziness that we have now is not new. Look at World War II. Look at World War I. Horrible things were happening there. People were being slaughtered, thrown into gas ovens. People were being butchered because of ethnicity. This racial purity kind of thing. This is not new. This has all been a replay of these old wars. And they say if we don't learn from the past, we are doomed to repeat it. What Swamiji said that kind of helps us is that the evolutionary circle is a spiral up. So even though it may seem like we're coming to another point where we were before, in some way, we're slightly higher than where we were before. in this cycle at least. And this is confirmed with the teachings of Yogananda's Guru, Swami Sri Yukteswar, who talked about a 24,000 year cycle, that he confirmed that we are in an ascending cycle, part of the cycle. It's not a descending. So this is again, something to think about, is that we thought that the end of the world was going to happen multiple times through the past 100 years. You know, World War I looked like the end of the world, World War II especially. And of course, the atom bomb scares between Russia and America. We all thought that we were building bomb shelters and finding a way to hide our valuables in the earth and so on. But it's also stated that there are great ones, Thakur and the great ones, who are in charge of the evolutionary plan of this planet, that are guiding this subtly. And subtly, they tip the scales where they need to, so that it doesn't tilt into the destruction, horrible part that's the possibility of life, of these things. And there's stories upon stories where, in the if you look at World War II or the war in the Cold War, there's stories upon stories where, if you look at the generals and talk to the soldiers, there was critical times when something seemed to divine change the direction of things. And all of a sudden, the dynamics changed, where it could have just as easily gone the other way, and the dark forces would have taken over. Time and time again, you see this. And so we'll talk about some things that we can do in general to make us calmer. But we're also going to talk some things we can do ourselves to create a shelter of peace and calm that is unassailable by anything. And here's what Sri Krishna also said. God cannot be realized through mere scholarly reasoning. Has anyone truly understood what Mother Kali is? Even the 6 darshanas are powerless to reveal her. She cannot be realized by means of mere scholarship. One must have faith, love, faith and devotion. One realizes God easily through devotion. He is grasped through the ecstasy of love. So, something that's been occurring to me, and I think that I'm trying to learn in my lifetime here, it seems to be a big learning, is that we should be so anchored in that inner world through our japa, through our inner life, through our meditations, that the external world is not a threat. We don't react to it anymore. That's really hard. That's really hard. But they say it is possible, and it's absolutely necessary. And if you look at times and places when you're placed in a situation, you usually have the ability, it's usually perfect to learn certain things, right? It's like, this is the time that we can come face to face with learning this. After all these lifetimes and all these incarnations and all these millions of years and thousands of years, whatever you believe in. But this is the time when something is this crazy, where if I don't even open my phone to look at the news half the time, because it's insane.
Right.
Anything seems to be worse, and it's always the end of the world. It's always the dire descriptions, and there's a lot of things that seem to be counterintuitive to anything. So all we can do is to create that inner world of peace and withdraw into it, so that we find that we can connect with, if we can connect with that peace now in all of this stuff, then we can always connect with that peace no matter what, even when death comes, even when whatever happens to us. So if we can think of using this as practice, that no matter what, I mean literally no matter what, we need to be able to say, Divine Mother's play. And use that. That's why japa and inner meditative practice is so vital now. Because those who don't have it, I feel so sorry for them. Think about it. They don't have anywhere to turn. They only can take a drink or watch TV or something to try to take their mind off of these things. But it doesn't work. After a while, it's right there again, right? But if you have some inner connection, and this is what, when Thakur said this, it means a lot. Because where is the power? Where is that answer? How far away is it? It's actually at the center of our being. That's what Thakur said. He said, who is having this Maya? It is God alone. So inside of us, nearer than anything we can even imagine, is that which we need right now. And the good thing about having the world so crazy is we can't get distracted or deluded by it. There's nothing out there for us, right? I mean, yeah, we care about our family and those things we should do. But the truth of the matter is, in the larger sense, a lot of people have gotten to the point where they don't see anything even joyful in the world anymore. How can you have fun on anything when things are going so crazy? You can't even distract your mind for a little while because you're thinking, oh, my Lord, my Lord, my Lord. So if we can see through this delusion that it's happened before, that is great comfort. So we've been through worse, actually, if you think about it. When Swamiji talks about this ascending cycle, there has been worse. We've had dictators before, but people were a lot less clever and understanding about what dictators were. Now, our economies, all of our countries are intermingled so much that we cannot live by ourselves. We cannot stand alone. Nobody can stand alone anymore. The economies of the world are too intertwined. This world is too connected now. We need things that we don't have here in America. We need, if we're going to make these batteries, we don't have all the materials that we need to make all the batteries. It's in Africa. It's in different places. We don't have that stuff here. So the world is in such a perfect order in that we have no choice but to figure out how to get this working together. And I think that it's such a blessing to be a devotee who have some inner life. And the more emphasis and the more real the inner life becomes, the more of a kind of a dream the outer life is. And so what's great about this is the temptation to put your mind external is not even possible in this world, right? So what it makes us do is to turn inside, because there's really nothing exciting outward, right? So when things are all wonderful, we really kind of just go into this physical world and we lose ourselves completely in it, thinking that we're going to have fun, or we're having fun, or whatever it is. But that's why a lot of the saints say the greatest blessing is misery or confrontation of something going on that turns you inward, because they're all saying to us that's what we must do in order to gain spiritually. But we have the blessings of having this kind of wisdom, and sadly, it's just lacking in the Western traditions. In the Western traditions, you have us and them, good and bad, devil and God. You have bad people and good people, people that you should be thrown into hell and forever be tormented. I mean, oh my God, what kind of answer is that? What kind of world? That's why we see what we see. These things were created in the Dark Ages, these religions. They weren't always part of the mankind. This is something from far back in the human history where there was wisdom still. And it was transmitted through eons of time to us. Like Swami Sarvapriyanandaji says, he's being interviewed by my dear friend Amarkat this weekend. They're doing a video. They'll be showing it. So he did it before when I was with him. I was invited to go, but I couldn't. I'm here. So he said this, that this is eons and eons of time, that now we have this chance to be able to find this peace and find this wisdom. And he said that India is the oldest continuous civilization on Earth. It's the oldest continuous civilization. So they alone were the ones to bring Sanatana Dharma, anything that has real substance to it, to the present time. All the other ones, there was Egypt, there was Babylonia, there was Assyria, all of these other ancient civilizations perished. And so any wisdom that they might have been able to pass down to us were stopped. Egypt, anything that they had was totally crushed, because then the Islamic kind of situation, they burnt down the libraries in Alexandria. All the ancient wisdom was lost. All of it was gone for the Western world. The only thing that was left was the Bible, Quran, these things that were created. Where Sri Kishwarji says was the lowest time of our 24,000-year history, 599 AD. He said that was the lowest time in human evolution. And from there we go up. So think about that. What is influencing us right now is really not helpful. To most of the people, that's all they have. So that's why it's so vital that something like that, doesn't have to be a Sri Ramakrishna name. It doesn't have to be a certain personality's name. It has to be the principles of Sanatana Dharma. And that's why Swamiji never preached Ramakrishna. He preached the principles of Sanatana Dharma and the Vedas and Upanishads, which are eternal. And of course, having a divine being like Sri Ramakrishna is wonderful. But not all the world is going to bow down to any particular personality of divinity. It's not meant to be. It's not meant to be. The eternal principles are very vital. So the idea that inside of our inmost being, in most religions, in the Christian and the Islamic religion, is sin and the horrible devil, and what's inside of you is no good. Original sin. You were born messed up. You were born needing to be saved. You didn't even have to do anything, and you were destined for hell. Original sin passed from your parents to you. That's what their theology is. Let's be really honest. So that's what the world is turning to. So is there no wonder that they're more important for them to throw homosexuals in jail and stop people from having any access to abortion or something, that more than even the compassion of people who are suffering around the world or starving? Of course, it makes sense, because they're so far lost in this crazy theology. So the compass, the moral compass that needs to be there is the truth of who we are. Sanatana Dharma. Tattvamasi. You are that. Everybody is that. Everybody is precious. Everybody is a part of that divinity. And unless that's understood, that's the moral compass. Everything else isn't important. Once that's without that, nothing else matters, because it's crazy. With that, everything's simple. Because how do you treat God? You treat him with great respect and love. So everybody is part of God. Everybody's God. So how do you treat each other? How do you really feel about each other? That's the difference between Sanatana Dharma and the false, what they call Christianity. I think there was some truth. There was beautiful truth in Christianity. I think it was weeded out through the years, to the ages. And so the beautiful truth that was Christianity, I think, isn't coming to us today in the scriptures that are there. But I think it was there. And they say, even Swamiji said that in Islam, that the Prophet Muhammad was in the cave and he had a spiritual experience. The Kundalini touched his Sushumna, and he had these visions. But of course, I don't know how, but there was some spiritual power that was there. But I think this idea of warring and conquering everybody around you just drove it out. So this is why this is so important to bring out to the world again. Not with any name, not with any, Krishna or Rama Krishna or all that stuff. If you try to force that on people, it's a fool's errand. But if you show them the idea that at the center of their being is God, is the divine, and they don't realize it, but everybody has that inside. That is universal. You don't have to have a personality around that. And they can have any religion and still have that understanding. Because even in a Christian religion, the kingdom of heaven is within. Is it not written in your scriptures that you are God's? It's there. It's there. It's all there. It's just not understood. So I think this is why Swamiji's, Sri Ramakrishna, and some of the other great beings that we talk about, their teachings are so vital right now. And it's the time where all these old, misguided ideas of religion are fading away because they're not useful anymore. They only create division and hate and strife. And the only way for unity, they say, God is unity. What's opposite of God is total division. So if you just use that as a guidepost, it's easy. What brings unity and what creates division? That's a real easy judgment of what is coming to you. If somebody's really creating unity and harmony and synthesis of everything, it's utterly beautiful and it's utterly divine. Those that create division and us and them and this is bad and all these things and all that stuff, it's more and more into Maya. It's more and more into the depths of delusion, as they call it. So this is Ma Anandamoy, which is, now we're going to go to Divine Mother. Now we go to Ma, because she's so wonderful. She's so kind. I've always been a devotee of Ma since I was really young, and I never knew why. Now I really get it. Because Ma's the synthesis. Not only does she
we always think of our mother as our loving protector, and she's unconditionally forgiving us. And no matter how many times we mess up, she still loves us, right? Even if we're really bad, she loves us. But she's also the essence of wisdom. Maya has to stand aside before wisdom is allowed to come to the soul. And so Anandamoy Ma is such a great, and Shardavan, all the great beings, they're such a great synthesis that they have this beautiful universal love. But when you hear of some of the things they say, it's so profound. It's as deep as any of the Vedas can ever be. So this is what she says. Who or what is the self? Depending on your orientation, you find him, which is your own self, as a perfect servant in relation to his master, as a part of in relation to the whole, or simply as the one self Atma. That's such a powerful statement. So she gives the three different options, just like Hanumanji did. So she said you can be a servant in relation to a master, you can be a part of the whole, or you can be that one self Atma. She says it in the first sentence. She amazing being. Very well. The many creeds and sects have the purpose that he may bestow himself on himself along various channels. Each has its own beauty, and that he may be discovered and expressed in countless ways, in all shapes and in all form and in the formless. In the form of the path, he attracts each person along that particular line that will guide him in harmony with his inner dispositions and tendencies. The one is present in each sect, even though outwardly there appears to be conflict among them, which is due to the ego nature being full of doubt. In true realization, one can have no quarrel with anyone. One is fully enlightened as to all creeds, faiths, doctrines, and sects, and sees all paths as equally good. This is absolute and perfect realization. So long as there is dissension, one cannot speak of attainment. Nevertheless, one should undoubtedly have firm faith in one's chosen deity and pursue with constancy and single-mindedness that's one's chosen path. These are the words of Anandamoy Ma. I mean, Thakur and Ma, there's not a hair's breadth of separation between them. Such a beautiful synthesis. I mean, such a profound, in just one page, if this could be broadcast to the world and they can assimilate even a bit of it, it could solve all the problems of the sectarian fighting and all this stuff. She just said it very, very clearly. Everything that all of us need to know is kind of on one page. Thakur did that too. Sometimes in just one page, he would say something that would solve all the problems of the world if they just absorbed it and they're able to understand what he was saying. That's why what we've got to do is we've got to be an exemplar of this more than anything else. We just find our own peace with these understandings, absorb them deep inside of our own self, stop hating ourselves, start seeing God inside of ourselves, then stop hating anybody and seeing God all around everybody, and then be an exemplar of that. And then you will be shining, and they'll feel that. They don't need a theological disposition, a dissertation, I should say. That's what Thakur said. We can't understand Ma by scholarship or reason. It has to be the divine heart, bliss, and soul. And that makes a difference on people. You know, you see that when you're in your highest state and you're feeling really divinely blissful, you have an impact without even saying a word. People sometimes say to you, "Oh my gosh, you know, what? I'm trying to, you're glowing," or something like that. And I'm sure people have told you that at times. So here's God, and this is again, God alone is truth, happiness, bliss. Do not set your hopes on anything except supreme beatitude, the bliss of the self. Nothing else exists. What seems to exist outside of it is merely an illusion. Try to find yourself. All this clamoring is but natural to man. He cries out again, and in the endeavor to get rid of his sense of emptiness, all this clamoring is but natural to man. He cries out again, and in the endeavor to get rid of his sense of emptiness, The true aim of man's life is to realize God. The question of renunciation arises obviously only in regard to what has to fall away in any case. That which is eternal, that which is truth, has to be embraced. He who has bound himself will ever be attracted to be bound. This is the very nature of the individual. With the help of the Guru, one comes to realize the impermanence of things. Everything is possible through the power of the Guru. Even when you feel you have lost patience, do not relax your efforts, but try again and again. To your last breath, never leave off striving. Pray to him that you may continue to remain at his feet all the 24 hours. He who has been initiated by a guru must, under his direction, try to keep his mind every minute of his life engaged in spiritual pursuits, such as worship, japa, meditation, the perusal of sacred texts, kirtan, satsang, and the like. One thing that really struck me recently that helped me a lot when they talk about the reality of this world, I really think, and I really hit me hard. I thought about the past, and I asked myself, is it real? It's not here. I can't touch it. Does it have any realness right now? No, it's gone. It's not real. It's ephemeral. The only thing that has left is an impression in your mind. That's the only place it exists. It's in your mind. How about the future? Same thing. It's not there. It hasn't occurred yet. It's not real now. It only impression it creates on you is in your mind, in worries or hopes or whatever, fears, these kinds of things. It's the only power it has is in the mind. The only thing that's real is the eternal now. That's the only thing that you can absolutely say is real. It doesn't mean that this is real because this can go to a moment. So what is that eternal now that stays? That is that absolute now. That's what the self is. That's what we are. And so that really made things a lot easier on me about this reality of this world. You don't have to fight with it then. It's just logical. It's just you accept it then. It's like, the things that I was really worried about yesterday, they're just like memories. And if I didn't remember them, they wouldn't even have any effect. The future the same way. So this now, this meditation on who we are, this ultimate now moment, our being, and that's what all the great ones, Sri Ramana was very clear on that. Sri Ramakrishna, Ma, as you see, Ma said this: why is one not always full of bliss while engaged in japa? This is a good one, right? Meditation or other spiritual exercises. Ma, that was the question. Ma, when the object of one's supreme desire has been realized, then only is there bliss. By the sustained practice of japa, a state is reached where one feels that the mind has become one's obedient servant. Then there is the bliss of attainment, the bliss of visions and similar experiences. But one cannot keep up this condition at all times, and therefore bliss is not felt. What should one do in order to always be supremely happy? One has to be constantly engrossed in japa, meditation, contemplation, etc. You want to enjoy a worldly happiness and at the same time experience the bliss of reality. How can you have both? The mind is roaming in all directions, and so what can be the result of a little japa done by fits and starts? By the yoga of sustained and regular practice, the mind must be made one-pointed. So this is what she's saying again, that the japa brings us to that eternal now. That's what his job is, to become one-pointed with that japa. Then we go beyond the word and the sound into that essence of being. That's what japa is truly in any spiritual practice. And this is what all the great ones are saying, exactly the same thing. And you can use any path. That's why they're saying japa can be used exactly the same way to get that eternal now, truth of your being. This is from Ramana Maharshi. Just drop all seeking, turn your attention inward, and sacrifice your ego, mind to the one self, radiating in the heart of your very being. For this to be your own presently lived experience. Self-inquiry meditation is a direct and immediate way. So again, we can use japa as a route. We can use prayer. We can use good works and so on. But what they're saying too is that at a certain point, if you want the direct route, it's that sacrifice your ego, mind into oneself, radiating in the heart of your very being, that eternal now, that self. That's all we have to do, and it's right now. You can experience it right now. It's nothing mysterious. This is what Ramana is saying. All we have to do is abide in that and not be distracted. What's great about crazy world situations is we're not so much distracted. Sometimes all we can do is just, either you lose it or you just sit there and find that self and just hold on for dear life, because that's all that is comforting. That's all that brings any peace. It's so beautiful. This is from Ananda Moylan. We'll have Thakur and we'll finish up. Truly speaking, it is not you who call him. This is so beautiful. You think we have to strive for this thing and we're responsible. Truly speaking, it is not you who call him, but he who calls you. Just as in the hushed silence of night, the sound of distant temple bells and conches can be clearly heard, even so, when through intense and undivided devotion to him, the hunger of the senses is stilled. His call will find response from your inmost depths and reverberate through your whole being. Then and only then will true prayer spontaneously flow from your heart. His divine call is bound to come to everyone, for Shiva, the eternal spirit, has resolved himself into Jaivas, sentient beings, and every creature has to become reconverted again to Shiva. I'll say that again. Just as water freezes into ice, and ice melts into water, so the play of transformation of Shiva into Jaiva and Jaiva into Shiva goes on and on through eternity. So again, this is what she's saying. His call will find response from your inmost depth and reverberate through your whole being. Then and only then will true prayer spontaneously flow from your heart. This divine call is bound to come to everyone, for Shiva, the eternal spirit, has resolved himself into Jaivas, the sentient beings. So Shiva became us. And every creature has to become reconverted again to Shiva. It's not even our choice. The call will come to everyone, even if we don't, Ramana said, even if we don't have a desire for it, it has to come. Just as water freezes into ice and melts into water, so the play of transformation of Shiva to Jaiva and Jaiva to Shiva goes on and on through eternity. It's amazing. And this is a little helpful. It's the Gita, the Bhagavad Gita. Surrender exclusively unto him with your whole being, O Bharat. By his grace, you will attain perfect peace and eternal abode. That's helpful. This is beautiful too. This is Ramana Maharshi. Silence is of four kinds. Silence of speech, silence of the eye, silence of the ear, and silence of the mind. Only the last is pure silence. Okay, let's see. Okay. Mind is the consciousness which has put on limitations. You are originally unlimited and perfect. Later, you took on the limitations and became the mind. So again, this is something it's a temporary thing that we created ourselves to be a separate being. This is so beautiful from this is really the profound last statement. And again, we were talking about grace of Divine Mother. Nothing has happened. To be able to understand this is very fortunate. If you can understand that nothing has happened, you have indeed been blessed with the inner vision. Only you exist, you and you alone. Truly, you are contained in everything. Again, you are indeed that itself. In all infinity is he and no other. I alone am. That's what's sweet and not annoying. That's the final statement. We think of all this, nothing has happened. Only I, times all this. So that's why they say you want to immerse yourself in what the great beings are. And if it was just somebody saying these words, it wouldn't matter. But it's the beings that are the self that have manifested to us. This is our own self talking to us. That is what is going on. When this reverberates through your heart, it's your own self talking to you. When that core hits the mark and you read the gospel or any of the great beings, you know that it is your own self being revealed to yourself. So why don't we do this? Let us have a short chant to get us calm and peaceful. Then we'll do a short meditation. Remember the meditation we talked about with Soham, where you breathe in 3 times, exhale, breathe in 3, exhale. And then after the 3rd time when you exhale, just let your breath become natural and let it flow by itself. Don't try to control it. And just observe it. That's all you've got to do. Just be aware of the breath as it comes in the nostrils, goes out. It goes in and comes out, comes in and goes out. So when breath goes in, so. When it goes out, hum. So, so, and just watch it come and go. I am He. I am He. With every breath, we're affirming that truth. I am He. Find that eternal now, that eternal self, the real self. And we'll chant first, and then we'll do that meditation. We'll do the breathing after the chant, then we'll do our 3 times breathing, and then we'll just do so on. Okay? Let's do the chant to Divine Mother. I think that might be good, since we're talking about Ma needing her help. Okay, now let's do our breathing together, all together. So we'll breathe in twice through the nose, hold it, and exhale through the mouth. Like that. We'll do it 3 times, okay? So let's start with inhale. Hold. Exhale through your mouth. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Otherwise, it's not deep enough. One more time. Let's breathe in through the nose. Hold. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Hold. Exhale through the mouth. Now let's just watch the breath come in, go out of itself. Don't try to control it. Mentally chant Hum. So incoming. Hum outgoing. So hum. So hum. So hum. want to thank everyone. We'll finish with Ramakrishna Sharanam, if that's okay. And if you want to get your things ready to do that, that's fine. We just want to say this is really obviously an amazing time, and my heart goes out to everyone. And there's so much suffering in this world. Prayers, are always a great idea too. So if we all pray for the upliftment of the world and send out love and peace to those, perhaps it can have some effect, especially on those in power, to pray for their enlightenment or understanding, so that they can have compassion on those that they have power over. Would be a really good thing right now too. So we thank you all. We'll see you next Saturday at 3 p.m. for RT and Puja, and then 4 p.m. we'll have a little talk, and then we're going to be looking at bringing in not only Swami Atmavidyanandaji in March, but also another Swami to be named. We'll see if our Peshanandaji's knee is up to it. We'd love to have him come, because he's promised to come. Yeah, he was supposed to come, but his knee, he had an operation on it, so sadly he wasn't able to. So hopefully, I'm going to reach out to him. Let's see. But we'll bring somebody here, okay? And by the way, too, if there's any of those of you guys, we'll send out an email. We would really appreciate, I know some of you guys are not in a position, and some of you are already doing a lot for the group here, but if there's anybody who has the ability to do some donation, we'd love to have just even a goal of $500 a month, so we have some money to bring these swamis in. We usually pay for their airfare, and of course they stay here and all that sort of thing. But there are some monies that come into the group every month. But we talked to Swami Atmavidyanandaji, and it would be wonderful if all the group together, if we had an extra $500 a month coming in, that we'll be able to do all of these things this coming year. So that's something we wanted to mention. I'll send an email out. Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye Prabhu, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Kripahi Kevalam, Kripahi Kevalam, Kripahi Kevalam, Sharanye. Kripahi Kevalam, Kripahi Kevalam, Kripahi Kevalam, Sharanye Prabhu. Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye Prabhu. Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Sharanagaytuham, 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 Vande. Sharanagaytuham, 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 Vande. Prabhu Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye Prabhu. Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Namo Sri Gurave, Namo Sri Gurave, Namo Sri Gurave, Namo Namo. Namo Sri Gurave, Namo Sri Gurave, Namo Sri Gurave, Namo Namo. Jai Jai Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye Prabhu. Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Ram Krishna, Jaya Jaya Ram Krishna, Ram Krishna, Jaya Jaya Ram Krishna, Ram Krishna, Jaya Jaya Ram Krishna, Ram Krishna, Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye, Prabhu Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Kripahi Kevalam, Kripahi Kevalam, Kripahi Kevalam, Sharanye. Kripahi Kevalam, Kripahi Kevalam, Kripahi Kevalam, Sharanye. Jai Jai Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Prabhu Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Sharana Gaitu Ham, Sharana Gaitu Ham, Sharana Gaitu Ham, Hande. Sharana Gaitu Ham, Sharana Gaitu Ham, Sharana Gaitu Ham, Hande. Prabhu Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Prabhu Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Namo Sri Gurave, Namo Sri Gurave, Namo Sri Gurave, Namo Namo. Namo Sri Gurave, Namo Sri Gurave, Namo Sri Gurave, Namo Namo. Jai Jai Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Prabhu Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Rama Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Rama Krishna, Jaya Jaya, Rama Krishna, Jaya Jaya, Rama Krishna, Jaya Jaya, Rama Krishna, Jaya Jaya, Rama Krishna, Rama Krishna, Jaya Jaya, Rama Krishna, Rama Krishna, Jaya Jaya, Rama Krishna, Rama Krishna, Jaya Jaya, Ram Krishna, Jaya Jaya, Ram Krishna, Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Shri Krishna Jai Maha. Thank you all for coming. We look forward to seeing you next Saturday. We'll have our talk at 4 p.m. Thank you.